Okay, traders, this was the idea I posted yesterday. Gold. I was looking for a pullback. And I've mentioned this a few times. Whenever I share an idea like this, if I say something like, okay, we're looking for a pullback and then a break of structure bullish, all you have to do is, if you've gained access to the indicators, right? Whenever I post something like this, come straight in here, look at this. You take that first buy signal. All you have to do, that's it. Stop loss in the green zone there. Okay, go for a whatever 4R target, but set up a horizontal like this at about 1R and make that an alert to close 50% of your position, and then pull your stop loss up to break even. Right now, my VIP members are in this trade off that signal. Right, so the idea was the pullback, and it's got to hold above this support. Look, there it is, guys. All you got to do is just, it doesn't get any easier than that. All right, so if you're in this trade, I would have hoped that you closed 50%, and I would pull my stop loss up. Yeah, it's going for a deep pullback now. We don't know how far that's going to travel, but a break-even stop loss would be okay, and I would just let it get taken out if that's the case. Or if you want to, you could just go that little bit extra, just go under that green shaded zone, just in case it kind of holds and we do get a higher low. So, okay, that's the intro. Now I'm going to just switch this on for TradingView, and we'll do a TradingView. We'll do it through TradingView as well, and I'll give you my take on the next setup. If you follow what I'm saying here, guys, you're going to make a ton of money. Seriously. All right, let's go. TradingView. Okay, TradingView. We are looking at gold. This was yesterday's idea. And in that video I posted, if you have a look at that in here, I talked about waiting for this to pull back and then moving in on the break of structure bullish. And we never know how far it's going to pull back. And that's what I mentioned in the video. I always say, this pullback could happen here, it could happen here. What I'm talking, not just the pullback, the reversal, the break of structure. Okay, it could happen anywhere, but all we need to do is just have a system in place that gives us the rotation, so we don't have to think about it. We just set it up, the alert goes off, and I've got systems for that. So with this, it was the pullback. And look for the break of structure. Guys, here it is. Look, pullback. And so what we're going to do is we're going to actually have a look at another opportunity. Pullback. Okay, it's exactly what I pointed out down here. And when it breaks structure, there, and then you pull back into here, that's when you get long. That's all there is to it. We're just waiting for the higher high, higher low setup to kick in. If you're a bit nervous on the first one, wait for the second higher high and then come back in on the pullback. Something like that. That's it. So let's just have a look now and see what's going on. So we're getting a bit of a deeper pullback. Look, my bias is bullish gold, but here's the thing with this. Quite often, I've seen on Wednesday, we're looking at a weekly range. Okay, this was the weekly open. Let me just mark that up. There it is there, right? So let's just gonna track this weekly range. I want to show you something. I'm going to grab this guy. So weekly open was here. Pull it through. Now we've got this high. So important, this, guys. This is trading a weekly range, right? Range W. And then there's the monthly and the rest of it, right? So you've got the weekly range. Now we've got a high and a low. Now the weekly open, it actually opened on a candle, and then it went down a little bit. I know it opened and then it dropped under a little bit. Weekly open, and then we got the low. Let me just increase the whatever with this so we can see the thing. Is that it? Hang on, that might be it. No, that's not it. I've lost it, guys. What's going on? No. Anyway, we can see the high and the low. I'll muck around with that later. But it did drop a little bit, and then it continued on now. And in terms of like running liquidity before the week, so I guess this down here was the liquidity run. I'm always looking at in the beginning of the week where it runs the lows and then it moves. So I guess this move back down was just that. ran the lows, and then they accumulate down here and they're off, right? Now we're getting into the midweek now, and it's always a little bit tricky because we don't know if, like big smart money, they have capital to take this wherever they want it to go, and they set up their algorithms to suit themselves, in my opinion. They're targeting this high here, so they load up, and we've hit this high. My question is now, because I've seen, this is what I was saying, I've seen Wednesdays where, Wednesdays we get a really deep pullback, and then, Thursday, Friday, and then the next week we kick off again. So just watch out now. We're kind of midweek, and I don't know whether this is their intention to unload. This is the high. It ranged here, see that? And then it ran. So if you see price action ranging into, well, see the profile, see the volume profile here. See that? This is a big value area. This is institutional. Where you see these nodes coming out, look at them right there, right? So that's looking back into history at a higher time frame. Yeah, well, higher time frame, key institutional level. That's a value area where there's been a lot of trading, a lot of business through this area. That's the next biggest cluster of nodes after the point of control. All right, so there's always going to be liquidity resting at these levels, above these levels. So they accumulate. Now, the range and this run above, like the range is building more liquidity. There's already resting liquidity up there because it's an institutional level, and they hit that liquidity and then you see it drop, right? So I don't know whether their intention was to unload this accumulation up in here. Is this a distribution now, right? Where we've got the Wyckoff, the range, and then the manipulation, the fake out, shake out, and then we run it down. And how far down they're going to run it, who knows? The higher time frame is bullish, and so my bias is only to be going long. I don't want to short this, and we don't know how far this is going to trend down. And I've seen Wednesdays, as I said, where Wednesdays, after Wednesday, you can see this thing really tank, because there's also, if they're unloading up here, there's also a ton of sell side liquidity under these levels here, right? So just keep an eye on. See levels like that, all right? So that's a key support. See, you got value through here. See that? So that's a support. Let's just mark it up as a support. I want to see it hold above OB bullish. Yeah, well, that'd be an order block. There's a bullish order block in there. You've got displacement. All right. So you've got support here. Now, I will be looking for a buy if, here it is again, if it holds above this. If it holds above this node here. Okay, so let's look at this. Here's a trading plan for you. Parallel channel, what am I doing? I want just a channel. Right, it's got to hold above that. So what I want to see some kind of range here. Whenever it's ranging, that big money is involved. And then I want to see a possible, fakey shaky thing going on, right? It's got to hold above that. So my plan would be, okay, same as yesterday, but it's got to hold above. Okay, so note buy on the bullish break of structure and retest of the range. If this doesn't play out, okay, it must hold above this support level. It must hold above this support level. So if it could break under, but what I want to see is, well, actually, I don't really want to see it. I don't really want to see it break under that, to be honest. And it might do. It might do. See, you got to look at it from a liquidity standpoint. Like, it's targeting under this low here. You've got sell side liquidity. There's a range over here, and like this is a big pool under here, so they might try to hit that. That's the thing. Yeah, it could hold here, given that see it's a strong value area. You can see with these nodes, it's a double whammy. Look, there's two protruding, 1 and 2. So you could pull that all the way through that area there. I really want to see it hold through this area and not break below it. You could even extend it a little bit, just so it touches under here a little bit, right? I don't want to see it break under that. So we could do that. And then the other thing would be it's got to break structure, retest and fail above this green zone. If it breaks below the green zone, well, Thursday, Wednesday, and look, Thursday and Friday, if this is bullish during the week, into the end of the week, I mean, look, it could be pretty volatile. We're going to get all sorts of volatility in the markets, but look at the weekly candle. All right, we opened, we traded up, right, to the high. So I don't know where this is going to close. That's the thing. So let's just consider, right, who knows? Who knows? Could be anywhere. But it's a bullish candle. Okay, there's the high, down to a low, all right, something like that. Open, low, high, and then back into the close. There's a high, and I mean, look, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, this thing could end up anywhere, right, wherever it goes, right? But towards the end of the week, in the last 3 days of the week, this is going to set up. It's going to pull back into the close, right? So my best trading days are Monday and Tuesday, and a lot of the time Wednesday. But Wednesday can be really dicey, guys. As I said, like quite often I've seen Wednesday reverse really aggressively, and the bulk of the move happens early in the week, especially if you get a run like that on a Monday. All right. So anyway, with gold, my thing would be if it holds here and starts to break structure, it's going to trade. It might trade back up again, but then, guys, look for that. The Friday, thank God it's the end of the week, whatever they call it, right? There's a trading strategy around that, like trading the Friday close. Trading the Friday, it's this candle pullback, the pullback on Friday. So, there's a whole bunch of stuff involved here. Yeah, you might get something out of it. It might trade back up again this Wednesday, Thursday, who knows. But into Friday, into the end of the week, look for this to pull back into the close. So this is reluctant. I'm reluctant to give you this because I don't trust the end of the week so much. Anyway, that's my take on gold. We'll see how we go with it. And yep, I mean all the info is in the in my in the video, so you've got all that. I hope you have a fantastic day. Oh, guys, comment. Let me know what you think. Are we on the same page? Yeah, share your thoughts and ideas in the comments below. That'd be awesome. And gold. Yep. With that, have a great day. Safe trading, and see you in the next one.